What up, YouTube? Digital. Let's talk about firearms. Yes, a safety check. Alright. Actually, let's talk about firearms in California, and let's talk about the open carry movement that happened in California that fucked up and fucked everything up and divided the gun owners, which the open carry movement started off innocent, and then there were mistakes made right off the bat during the first one. Scared the shit out of a shit ton of people. There were like 200 911 calls. It was just ridiculous. It locked up two of my best scanners trying to keep up with all this bullshit because no one knew. These people didn't even have the common courtesy to inform the place that they were going to be at. That's what started the whole bullshit with stores putting signs up saying no guns, by the way. That's when all that started. Now, I'm not against open carry. I open carried Betsy when I lived in California for a long time. If I went before the law changed, it used to be if you're in a county of 150,000 or less, and you could open carry a gun in a rural area, and so I would open carry in a rural area. But then things changed. Now people say that you can't get a CCW in California, and that's bullshit right there. There's only like 7 counties that currently don't do CCWs. Before the open carry movement started, there was a lawsuit that I actually contributed money on, even though I had nothing. My county did it. My county allowed it. So I didn't have to, but I did. NRA was part of it, and basically they were going to sue these 7 sheriffs personally so that they couldn't use the county's lawyers and everything else. And it was a brilliant plan. And I wish I could remember who came up with it, but it was fucking brilliant, and it would have worked too. It would have worked because the way the California law was written was not guaranteed, but they were going to do it on the basis of these people were personally denying the right based on their personal decision, and that's why they're going after them personally and not professionally. And so it was a brilliant deal. And it all got flushed down the toilet because NRA backed out. NRA backed out because the open carry movement became militant. It went from being just discombobulated and fucked up and stupid to people hiding in bushes and purposely calling cops and, oh God, and uploading videos to YouTube. And then not giving their identification for 20 minutes. And most of those cases that people got busted for lost. And I'm not talking about the actual open carrying part, but they got people were not giving up their IDs. They were not obeying the officers and shit like that, and they lost. They lost in court. And it brought up a thing where, and this goes back to the Supreme Court ruled on this, oh God, fuck, a long time ago, where even if a cop is doing something wrong, you were to still obey to the best of your ability. Because you have recourse in court. And these people were not doing it, and so they lost. And it just got bad. It got bad enough where lawmakers were saying, stop it, or we're going to ban it. And they must have said it about 10 times. And then finally they just said, fuck it. We're banning it. Now, do I agree with that law? No. Okay, I don't. But the situation got out of control. There were troublemakers in it. The people who originally started it fucked up, not on purpose. It was just simple, stupid logistics crap that should have been taken care of when you had like 50 or 60 people showing up at a coffee shop. So, you know, they had some mistakes, but it's an issue where people don't realize that California in its heyday had 4,000 gun-related deaths in 1 year. That was just deaths. That wasn't armed robberies, that wasn't pistol whipping, and that wasn't pimp slapping. That was just deaths. Okay? Guns have a very bad image in California, and it's because there's so much crime. If people take it to that point, the citizens are going to respond. And one of the worst things, you know, people who hate guns will always hate guns. Okay, we know that. It doesn't matter if there's a new president. It doesn't matter if there's a new government. They will hate guns. That's it. Okay? But we don't need to make more gun haters. And that's what was happening. It got to the point where I was in a local gun shop in Northern California, real Northern California. And trust me, anybody who's been in real Northern California, and I'm not talking about just above LA, I'm talking about above Sacramento. If you've been there, then you know it's a very gun-friendly area. There were gun shops there that if they heard you start talking about the open carry movement and shit like that, they'd tell you to get the fuck out. They didn't want that shit in their store. That's how bad it got. It got ridiculous. It got stupid. It got juvenile. And NRA backed out. You know, just everybody just said, fuck this shit. And got out. Laws got passed, and then everybody thought NRA was going to swoop in and save us. Fuck no. NRA warned people they're not going to help. That was even before. The lawmakers themselves warned over and over and over again. That was the stupid part about it. They must have warned people like fucking 10, 15 times in press conferences that they're going to do it if they didn't knock it off. And they still just kept pushing it, kept pushing it, kept pushing it. And then they said, okay, well, fuck it. We'll just do it. And they did. Do I agree with the law? No. But that's what happens. That's why I'm not there anymore. People have seen the areas that I lived in. Mountains, 120-foot trees, snow, nature. Awesomeness. I gave that up because shit got so fucking retarded that people just could not act normal anymore. Now, I do believe in our rights. I do believe in freedom. But I also believe that people overstep the word freedom. And there is no such thing as freedom in the United States or in any country. Because if you look at the definition of freedom, you can't have a country. You can't have borders. You can't have laws. You can't have any of that shit. There is no true freedom. The closest thing there is to true freedom is being a dictator, and that's only in your own country until America kills you. I mean, that's how it is. Now, the rest of it comes down to majority rules. In California, the majority hate guns because of the fucking bullshit that surrounds them. And rather than people educate rationally, they do stupid bullshit that pisses them off even more. It's like, how many times you gotta fucking sit there and pick at the hornet's nest before you learn? It's not a place to put your dick. Okay? It's just not. Stop fucking it. Leave it alone. But that's why I'm not there anymore. Is California ever going to change? No. No. If there's a new government or revolution and all that, it doesn't matter. Those people still all going to hate guns. The people that are going to be idiots will still be idiots. They only had to deal with 7 fucking sheriffs. They could have voted those dumbasses out. And they instead just pissed off all the lawmakers to the point they just made more laws. You know, there's people who talk about the Constitution, but they never do what the Constitution says to do. They just read what they want to read and then they walk off. Well, the Constitution gives you a shit load of fucking ways to get things done. And people, unfortunately, are too lazy to do that type of work. But, anywho, I hope California changes. I'd love to move back. But I doubt it ever will. The gun people are still pretty split. I don't think there's ever going to be anything not till the federal government steps in and does something federally. will California change in that aspect? And I think it's because not only of all the gang violence and all that other bullshit, but you know, you got so-called respectable gun people, and they're out there doing stupid shit. And it was dumb. And again, not all the protesters were doing that. But it became that. And anyhoozle. Peace. Now I'm going to respond to Haas.